In this video, I'm going to show you 5 reasons that high vibrational people struggle to find love. I'm going to show you the biggest blocks, how to remove them, and how to make the process so much easier so that you finally allow love into your life in a very powerful way. Now, the first thing I want to share with this when it comes to struggling to find love and being what we call a high vibrational person, which is really just somebody that is very focused on maybe personal growth, focused and has like the value system of like really valuing their body, their mindset, and is just like maybe have gone through a spiritual awakening. There's common themes that happen on the journey of attracting love for these kinds of people that I've noticed in my own life that I'm also going to share with you so that you are able to remove those blocks. And the first one has to do with one of the most common things that I see that blocks love, and that is people that have gone through a spiritual awakening or that we consider to be high vibe. Many of them may feel like what are called empaths. An empath is somebody that can feel other people's energy, somebody that's considered to be a bit more sensitive, somebody that a lot of times knows how other people are thinking and feeling about them. And what happens is empaths have a very strong tendency on tuning to other people, because what's happened is in childhood normally, there was a feeling of things aren't safe. And what happened is then, in order to feel safe, what people would do is they would then change themselves in order to get their parents, other people in their lives to feel comfortable. And there was like a choice that was made that it's not safe for me to be me or for me to feel safe in my own body. So now I'm going to tune to others to make sure everything's okay. And the challenge with this is that then later on in life, they're tuning to the love they want to attract. They're tuning to the other person. And at the same time, they're projecting energy at this person. And they're trying to change themselves. They're not in their own center of gravity. They're not in their own frame. And then what happens is they kind of feel like a leaf in the wind. They feel like they're kind of getting brushed in many different directions. They're wondering if people are going to call them back. And it's a certain level of codependency that happens, and that literally repels love, because what is happening is there's a desire, there's a neediness, where there's an energy that says, I desire your approval, validation, etc., so that I can feel safe. And what that then ends up with is repelling lots of love. The game changer for me was when I went from tuning to everybody else, having trouble to set boundaries, feeling like I didn't know who I was, to then being in my own frame and being vulnerable, expressing the real me, living with higher level of integrity, being inside my own body, not focusing just on the connection between everybody, but actually focusing on the separation. Because then I was able to feel like I was inside my own body. So one of the most common things I notice with high vibrational people is that they tune themselves too much to others, and in the process of doing so, they abandon themselves. And when we abandon ourselves, it's very challenging to attract love because we're not even choosing ourselves. How can we expect somebody else to choose us when we're not even choosing us? And for a long time, that's the pattern I lived in, where I wasn't choosing myself, and it was almost impossible to attract love because I wasn't even choosing myself. When I started to choose myself, the options came in. It was so different. And the way that I started choosing myself was by living according to my own vision, living to the values of authenticity and vulnerability. In moments where I would normally stay soft and not say anything, I was like, you know what? I'm actually going to express the real me. And I would actually like do an exercise where I was feeling inside my body, in my feet, in my hands, and feeling the separation between other people. And it was like this feeling of safety that started to develop, and it changed absolutely everything. I think many people that have been through a spiritual awakening, there's like an abandonment wound, where as kids we felt emotionally or physically abandoned, and we made the choice that it's not safe for me to be me. It's not safe for me to be inside my own body. I'm going to tune myself to everyone else in order to get validation, get my needs met. But that completely depolarizes the relationships, and then everything as a result of that begins to reflect back like I'm not choosing myself. So that's the first thing that absolutely changed everything, was when I actually started to choose myself. The second thing that I found in my own life for many years blocked me from attracting love as what we call a high vibrational person, and we'll talk about the ego of a high vibrational person here in a minute too, was that when I went through my awakening in 2012, I went through it. My friends didn't understand me. My family thought I went nuts, and friends thought I went nuts too. And for a period of time, I felt very alone. Felt kind of like a lone wolf. And I kind of made some decisions. I said, people don't get me. Maybe because they're asleep. That was one way I rationalized it. They're asleep, they just don't understand. But then what ended up happening is I developed this belief that like there's just not a lot of people out there like me. And I was also a bit, I wasn't very grounded. So I think I became very unrelatable in some ways. And because I was unrelatable and I had this belief that there's just not a lot of people like me, it was like impossible for me to meet people similar to me because I had a belief that was blocking that. So because I was identified as the lone wolf for like a year or two, what that ended up leading with, or ended up being, is I ended up feeling alone. Nobody got me. Everybody else was asleep. And therefore, how could anyone be attracted into my life? It negates my own belief system. Remember, our beliefs are creating our reality. What I had to do is I also had to stop judging people so much and putting them in categories of like high vibrational, not high vibrational. Because what that meant as well is I was creating more separation between me and other people. The more I began to accept other people, the more I stopped labeling other people, the more then high vibrational people came into my life. So one of the things that I would recommend is if you're dating people or you feel like you're alone and you're not dating people, maybe part of the reason is because the story you're telling yourself is just there's not other people like you. I'm here to tell you that there are a lot of people like you. How do I know that? Well, look in the comment section below. There's over 1 million subscribers on the channel. And that means that there's a lot of people that are into this kind of content. I'm not saying it to brag, by the way. I'm just saying I have 1.3 million subscribers. It's not about that. I'm saying there's just a lot of people that are waking up right now. It's more of a symbol of that than anything else. And realize you're not alone on this process, and that will help you to rewire the belief that there's actually more people out there that are like you. So that's the second thing to realize, is you become more relatable the more you integrate into like reality. Stop labeling this as good and bad and things like that, and you'll open up more opportunities for you, and it really allows things to be much easier. Now, the third thing that blocks high vibrational people from attracting love into their life is this idea that I want to share called the Anima and the Animus. Now, the Anima and the Animus is psychology. I think it's by Carl Jungian psychology. The Anima and the Animus, what happens when someone goes through a spiritual awakening is for a period of time, their polarity actually flips. And what that means is if they're normally feminine, they didn't go to the masculine side. If they're normally masculine, they go to the feminine side. And one of the reasons they're doing that is because they're going to the other side of their polarity so that they can heal their childhood stuff. So this is why you see a lot of soy boy feminine dudes that are kind of just like in their feminine flow. They're creating art. They're doing all this kind of like really feminine things. Or you see kind of masculine, women may go through a spiritual or, feminine masculine energy. Doesn't have to be gender specific if you're listening to this. It can be feminine or masculine depending on, your sexual orientation and all of that. However, sometimes you'll also see women that are more masculine. And they're going more into their masculine. And one of the reasons being is because they flip to kind of heal their dad stuff or their mom stuff. And for a period of time, they go through that so that they can heal it and then more closely integrate back into it. For a couple of years ago, I went through that. I was becoming much more feminine in different ways. And I would find that it was harder for me to set boundaries. And I was like going into my mom wound and all of these things so that I could heal and then come back. And I've seen a lot of women go through this as well, or feminine people go through this, where they go into their masculine for a period of time, and then are able to reintegrate that back. Now, the reason I share this is a lot of times I'll see people that say, "Well, I'm attracting very feminine men," and they're like a woman that wants to attract, a more masculine man. And one of the challenges with that is it means at some level maybe there's some type of dad wound that is there. Maybe they have too much masculine energy that's activated inside themselves, and therefore it's blocking love from actually coming into their life. It's blocking the masculine from actually coming into their life. And remember, people that are reflecting back to you the energy that you're putting out. As I became more in my masculine, I started to then attract more feminine people into my life. And that is something that comes as a reflection of your own energy. So one of the things I would recommend is to focus more on maybe it is doing the inner child healing type stuff. Healing the mom or the dad wound. Understanding what is called the Anima and the Animus. And going through that process. Now something, if you're listening to this right now, by the way, and haven't joined that of the Magnetic Mastery membership, this is a community where we're all focused on one outcome, becoming the highest vibrational versions of ourselves. If you want to meet thousands of other people that are also on the same journey, then you can do so right now by going to www.magneticmastery.com or clicking the link below and join a community of high vibe people that are all focused on the same outcome. And every week we do accountability calls, we do weekly coaching calls. It's a way of really connecting with a lot of people, knowing you're not alone, that are all focused on rewiring their beliefs and energy from the inside out. So if you want to join, today's one of the last days to join for enrollment for that. I'll go ahead and link it below. And now we'll move on to the fourth thing. The fourth thing that will happen when you're on that of this journey of being what you consider to be high vibe is you may start to have this standard where you're high vibe, and now all of a sudden there's this ego that comes into place. And it was kind of similar to number 2, but really have to emphasize it here. When I went through my awakening, I was like, okay, now I'm high vibe. And there was a level of significance that came with that. This happens a lot of times. I call it being what's called a significant starseed. You ever see these people, they're like, oh, I'm a starseed, I'm from this planet, and there's like this specialness that comes with it. It's like, well, I'm from this planet. I'm this kind of person, and there's like this superiority that comes with that. When that's being projected out, it repels. And not only does it repel, but it's coming from a level of ego. Sometimes when people go through a spiritual awakening, they will let go of one aspect of their ego, which is like for me, the ADHD version of me that was drinking and smoking a lot. I let go of that version of me. And then up through the back door came the spiritual ego. I study all these books. I'm doing all this self-help stuff. I'm looking at my own shadow. I'm meditating every day. I'm in the sun gazing. I'm like soaking in the sun and all of that. I'm like eating certain types of food. Like all of these things changed. And there was an identity, the ego that came through. And that ego that came through really did block a lot of love. Because at the same time, I thought that I was, in a way, better than everyone else. And nobody else is on my level. It was so hard for me to meet people that are also into the same things as me because I'm so special. And that created block, that created resistance. So the reason I'm sharing this with you is that I see it sometimes in the spiritual community. Probably not you, but maybe you know a friend you can give this message to, right? Where as a protective mechanism, maybe what we've done is we put all these checklists. This person needs to eat this kind of diet, needs to be this kind of way, needs to think like this, do this. Long list of things to this high standard. And if people don't meet that, immediately they're nixed out. Well, guess what? If you bring that long list with you everywhere you go, it's going to be very hard to connect with people. Not that you can't have standards, but have those standards be more so values. I value someone that is in integrity with themselves, someone that does what they love for a living, someone that follows their passion, somebody that's loving and thinks of others. Like, these are values you can find in a partner much easier than all these very specific high vibe things. And also, even with the word high vibe, it's kind of an egoic word, isn't it? I am high vibrational. You are somewhat low vibrational. When we start getting into like a, whatchamacallit, like a, that's how we're thinking in terms of you're low vibe and you're high vibe, we're starting to separate ourselves from other people. And then we put ourselves on this little ego pedestal, and it makes it a lot harder for us to connect with each other. It makes it a lot harder for us to even meet other people because we're so superior than everybody else. Now, here's the last thing, and probably one of the most biggest blocks that I noticed with spiritual high vibe people is they give these crazy labels to what they need to find in a partner. Like, it needs to be my twin flame, soulmate, other half, divine union. All of these things that high vibe people are looking for creates all this importance. It creates all this energy of like heavy pressure. And then every person they meet, they're like, are you my twin flame? Are you my twin flame soulmate? You ever see that? There's a Dr. Seuss book. I think it's called like, Are You My Mother? Or something like that. And it's this little bird that's walking around. It's like, are you my mother? Are you my mother? And it's like going over to like a broomstick. It's like, are you my mother? And then the broomstick doesn't say anything. So then it walks over to like a pole. Are you my mother? And then it walks all over to like a chair. Are you my mother? That's what spiritual people do with twin flames. Are you my twin flame? Are you my twin flame soulmate? And then it goes to someone else. Are you my twin flame? Are you my twin flame soulmate? And guess what? It's putting all this pressure on other people. And the label itself becomes very, very heavy. In my own experience, what I have learned is to let go of labels, because then you're on this lookout for this magical twin flame soulmate thing, and it's this big unicorn with all this pressure on it. And sometimes I even see it on my YouTube channel, by the way. People comment, and they're like, so my twin flame is running from me, and he's running, and I don't know why he's running from me, and he doesn't know it, but he's my twin flame soulmate from the 9th dimension, the Pleiadian galaxy, and he doesn't know this. And I'm like, that's so much pressure you're giving to it. And a lot of times, from what I notice, it's like this energy of like, it's more so a childhood energy where mom and dad aren't present. Mom and dad aren't paying attention. Mom and dad isn't paying attention to me. Mom and dad are running and like not around. They've physically or emotionally abandoned me. And what you want is like, this person is my twin flame soulmate. And by them being your twin flame soulmate, they're actually just running, and really what you're saying is, this feels very similar to mom and dad. This feels very similar to mom and dad. They're both running from me, energetically. So the key to this point is let go of labels. Let go of the soulmate, twin flame, divine union, Pleiadian, starseed, unicorn, and instead focus on connecting with other people. Focus on being present. Focus on expressing the real you. Focus on being vulnerable. When you drop those labels of all those heavy things, you let go of importance. When you let go of importance, it's more natural for you to be in your loving energy. Realize you are love. You might be trying to attract love. The key to attracting love, put everything on, like summarize this whole freaking video. The real answer is just for you to be yourself, to be the real you. Feel safe in your own frame. Don't tune to other people to try to find validation, approval, to get your inner childhood needs met. Instead, focus on being yourself and being the love that you're craving in somebody else. And part of being the love means not judging, means not labeling, means being present. And as you do all of these things, you'll notice that things change in a powerful way, and let go of the labels. The label of being high vibe, the label of the twin flame Pleiadian unicorn from the 11th dimension. Let go of all that shit. And you'll find it a lot easier for you to attract love. So like I said, if you haven't joined the Magnetic Mastery membership, you can do so by clicking the link below. Join high vibe people, all focused on one outcome, coaching every single week, accountability every single week, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Also, there is a video that is right here, which is the most powerful and effective way to manifest love, period. Watch this video right here. It will change your life. Attracting love is not something that we attract. It is something that is reflected. It is reflected back to us depending on how much inner self-love